This video contains spoilers for both season 1 and 2. You have been warned. Today's essay focuses on Ellen Page, a childhood crush of mine. Shit, wrong page. Today's essay is on number 7, aka Vanya Hargreaves. I guess we might as well begin at the start of it all. Early in season 1, we discovered that Vanya stood out like a sore thumb. On the very first public mission, the Umbrella Academy kids had to stop a bank robbery, despite Claus being practically useless as per usual. We still love you, Claus, by the way. But even he was involved in the mission. Vanya, however, was delegated and forced to be by the father's side, Sir Reginald Hargreaves, isolated and watching from afar. So as she was isolated from the other kids, she had believed herself to be powerless and unremarkable. This, alongside the fact that Sir Reginald Hargreaves kept her away from interacting with them, left her extremely vulnerable and an easy prey for manipulation. She felt unlovable, unwanted, and oh so ordinary. For a child raised amongst the most extraordinary beings on the planet, you can understand why this would affect her greatly. Despite all of this, just like her siblings, she wanted her father's approval the most. She tried to wow him with her violin skill and took many classes. However, she simply was not a natural, and despite becoming very good, she never went beyond being a third string, a third chair, a third seat. She was simply ordinary. Everything in her life screamed at her constantly just how unimpressive she was. In the current generation, where most kids have been told just how special they are and that they can do and be whatever they want to be in life. Season 1 Vanya was a refreshing reminder that a lot of other kids never receive such encouragement. A bunch of other kids aren't shown or told just how valuable they are. Instead, they're treated like shit. They call us the sensitive generation because for the most part our parents have treated us much better than their parents treated them. You see, I see Vanya as a symbol of how we end up with a high number of anti and volatile kids, especially in cities and larger towns. Long-term neglect creates a psychological trauma, and we see this trauma personified in Vanya as she begins to fall deeper and deeper down this rabbit hole. And all it takes is just one little push through the actions of one man to push her over the edge. But we know that his actions were only a small part of it. His siblings are part of the fuse, but the bomb itself and ultimately the end of the world loop that the Umbrella Academy is trapped in was created by Sir Reginald Hargreaves himself. The same man attempting to prevent the apocalypse ultimately created it via bad parenting. Who knew bad parenting could have such insane effects? So the meek, feeble, and frail Vanya finally meets someone that seems to accept her. But not only that, they also seem to appreciate her and see her as more than the ordinary girl who has never dated or even received a kiss. Finally had a boyfriend, one that seemed to genuinely care about her, one that really should have raised a million fucking red flags. But how could she see those flags? How can she see anything except praise and acceptance when your whole life you have been pushed aside as an afterthought? It's easy to fool yourself into believing that maybe, just maybe, this new person in my life is different. So what if they went to my house uninvited with my key? So what if my pills happened to disappear the moment I started hanging out with them? So what if they seem way too keen for me to try out my newly found powers? So fucking what? I finally have someone that cares about me. I am finally worth something to somebody. I'm finally special, at least in his eyes. As she's reaching over the edge, only one person realizes that the family's mistakes has affected Vanya the most. And she tries with all her might to save her and show her that someone does love her and always has, with no strings attached. So Allison, aka number 3, thinks it's far too fishy how quickly her sister's relationship with this random guy is moving, and she decides to investigate. The more she discovers, the more afraid she becomes for Vanya, but Vanya won't believe it. After all her life she's been waiting for someone just like Leonard, minus all the creepiness, but someone just like Leonard. Yeah. So Vanya refuses to believe her sister, as it seems that she's trying to take away the only thing, minus her violin, that brings her happiness and satisfaction in life. Allison attempting yet again to take the easy way out, but this time out of love and not without a lack of trying. begins. I heard a rumor, and slash! Her throat is split open with surgical precision as she collapses and bleeds profoundly. Vanya's boyfriend steps into the room and smiles at the sight of number 3 bleeding on the floor, but our sweet Vanya is too traumatized by her own action to realize this. Eventually, she discovers the truth about Leonard's manipulation. Already feeling betrayed by her family, having no friends, and finally, the one person that looked at her differently also turned out to be using her on purpose. This is the moment Vanya loses herself, because within such a short period of time, she found out who she thought was the love of her life. She discovered that she was indeed special, and perhaps even more special than everyone else. She also discovered that her sister was the one who forced her to forget that she always had powers, that she was indeed one of them. She also discovered that the same person she thought was her one and only was a liar, an abuser, and an ill-minded individual who recently came out of prison for murder. That's a lot to take in for anyone, especially someone in her delicate state. Due to her rage, she butchers Leonard right there and then, but it doesn't stop there. She regains a little bit of control and wants to go see her sister, who left her a beautiful voice message telling her how much she means to her, only to be confronted by Luther, her brother, who ends up locking her up, just like the father did. No one tried to understand her, except Allison. She refuses to give up on her, and continues to try to force her way through to free her, understanding how horrendously they all treated her sister. No one listens. No one ever listens. Hurt, alone, frustrated, angry, Vanya destroys the whole house and escapes to the only thing she can cling on to, the only thing that can keep her from exploding, her violin. And the show she's set to headline. But the world won't let her breathe. She's never given a moment to process. Things continue to pile up on her as her family attempts to attack her. Then an army of time-traveling soldiers arrive, double down on it. She no longer has any control left. Her powers are doing all the talking now. Everyone is forced to pay attention to her for once. Allison has an opportunity to do what the rest of the siblings agreed on, to end Vanya's life for the sake of the world. But she refuses to give up on her sister. Instead of ending her life, despite having her throat slit, she shoots the gun next to her ear, waking her up from her power trip as she collapses on the floor. And the world ends anyways. It's been your boy Supreme Uchiha the God. Hope you guys enjoyed the essay. Part 2, where we focus on season 2, etc., will be coming very, very soon. It's been your boy Supreme Uchiha the God. I hope you liked it. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. We're on the road to 600. We're actually slacking this month, so come on guys, you got this, man. Smash that subscribe button. I'm out.